At the welcome home dinner, my parents' adopted daughter, Chloe, leaned in and whispered in my ear, "The Ainsworths have room for one daughter. You're just some trash they scraped off the street." I thought she had a point, so I turned and walked into the intersection, right into the stream of oncoming headlights. My new family completely lost their minds. They dragged me back to the curb, a chaotic mess of pleading and shouting. My brother, Ethan, his face a mask of fury, warned me never to upset his sister like that again. I nodded obediently. Later that night, I went downstairs, turned on the gas stove without lighting it, and left a note on the counter. "It's my fault I made my sister sad. I want to take the whole family to heaven with me, so no one has to worry anymore." The way they all looked at me after that, you would have thought they'd seen a ghost. A few weeks later, at a party, Chloe and her little friends cornered me by the pool. With a collective shove, they sent me into the deep end. But I didn't struggle. I didn't even kick. I just let my body sink toward the blue-painted concrete. Panic erupted. Chloe, her perfect makeup ruined by a splash of water, had to dive in after me, yanking me up by my hair. "You idiot," she hissed, water streaming from her mouth. "If you actually drowned, Mom and Dad would hate me." She dragged me to the edge. "Couldn't you at least pretend to fight it?" What she didn't know was that I had fought back before. The reward for fighting was dying, again and again, in far worse ways. This was my 10th life. This time all I wanted was to finally die. The chlorine in the pool water burned my stomach, a familiar fire. Ethan was the one who pulled me out completely. I collapsed on the poolside tiles, coughing up a lungful of water, my body limp. Chloe's face was sheet white. Her friends began to stammer, their voices overlapping in a frantic chorus. "We were just kidding around." Yeah, who knew she'd just let herself sink like that? No one just stops moving when they're drowning. Is she trying to scam us or something? Ethan wrapped his suit jacket around my shivering shoulders as I struggled to my feet. My teeth chattered violently, a rhythm I couldn't control. Still, I managed to force a smile as I looked directly at Chloe. "Sister, you told me to get in, so I got in." My voice was quiet. "I do what you say." A visible shudder ran through Chloe. She took a step back, as if I were some kind of monster. "What are you talking about?" she shrieked. "I never told you to do that." Her eyes filled with tears as our parents rushed over, drawn by the commotion. "Dad, Mom, don't listen to her. She's crazy," Chloe sobbed, pointing a trembling finger at me. "Sadie is trying to frame me." My parents' expressions were grim as they took in my drenched, pathetic state. One of Chloe's friends, a girl in a designer dress, spoke up. "It's true, Mr. and Mrs. Ainsworth. She just jumped in. We tried to help her, but she wouldn't even grab our hands." I peered out from behind Ethan's arm, my face a canvas of pure innocence. "I wasn't refusing help," I said softly. "It's just, when my sister tells me to do something, I have to do it perfectly. Otherwise, she gets upset." I looked from my mother to my father, then to my brother. When sister gets upset, Ethan gets upset. When they're upset, you both get upset. My eyes were wide and earnest. "So please, just tell me, what do I have to do to make you all happy?" A dead silence fell over the patio. Everyone was staring at me like I belonged in a straitjacket. Ethan's body went rigid beside me. His grip on my arm was suddenly bruisingly tight. "Sadie, shut up." My father's voice was sharp as he barked at the housekeeper. "Take Miss Sadie to her room, and call Dr. Miller. I want him to run a full evaluation." Then he turned to Chloe, his gaze uncharacteristically stern. "Chloe, you come with me. Now." Chloe had always been the princess of this castle, shielded from so much as a harsh word. The tone of his voice made her flinch. The tears she'd been holding back finally broke free, and she began to truly weep.